Fellas, today we'll be giving the 10 worst teams in the NBA a superstar player. So the top 10 best players will be traded randomly to one of these 10 teams to see if they can help them out and maybe even win a championship. Well guys, we're going to be doing this on NBA 2K25 with a live simulation to see what would happen and who would win. So go sit down, go relax, go grab your favorite snack. The wheel draft is up next, so let's get right to it. Here we go. Fellas, here we are, the most famous wheel on halftime productions. We haven't pulled this out in a long time, so I'm excited for today's simulation. We begin with Nikola Jokic, the best overall player on NBA 2K25, and one of the worst 10 teams he will go to will be the Washington Wizards. That is perfect because the Wizards are on the bottom of the Eastern Conference, and this is going to be interesting to see if these players can take these bad teams to the playoffs and maybe even win a championship. But now going to Utah Jazz, the second best player on 2K, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo is headed out west. The first time he has been on a team other than Milwaukee in his career, and now going to the Portland Trail Blazers is the third best player in the game, 98 overall SGA. And I feel like this is the year SGA is going to win MVP. Jokic has been so good, but Shea has been unbelievable, and he's on the best team in the Western Conference. But speaking of one of the best players in the game, Luka Doncic is headed to the Philadelphia 76ers. He is headed out west, joining Joel Embiid because Joel Embiid's a 93 overall. He doesn't make the top 10 right now, which is crazy, but it makes sense because he's been injured for so long. But now going to the Chicago Bulls, Luka's teammate LeBron James. LeBron, one of the greatest players in the game, headed to Chicago, and that is going to be fun to watch LeBron in Chicago. But here is Stephen Curry. Curry joins his brother as he goes to the Charlotte Hornets, a place where he grew up and a place where his dad played. That is going to be interesting to see how he does with LaMelo Ball because that could be a really scary backcourt. And now here's Jason Tatum from Boston to San Antonio. He goes all the way from the east to the west, joining the Spurs with Wemby and Fox. I mean, that is going to be special. And injuries are off in this simulation. I just wanted to put that out there. It just makes everything more fun. And head to the Toronto Raptors is Anthony Davis. And speaking of injuries turned off, this is a big one. Anthony Davis has always been injured, but he will be fully healthy in this simulation. And with two teams left, going back to the Brooklyn Nets is Kevin Durant. How about that? KD will be back in Brooklyn. So last but not least, the last remaining team is the Pelicans, and it'll be Anthony Edwards headed to that team. He joins Zion Williamson, and that could be a scary duo. However, guys, that wraps up the wheel. Now it's time to head on to NBA 2K25, fill up the rosters, and then simulate the season. So let's go. The wheel draft is over. We are now on to NBA 2K25. I just filled the rosters accordingly to the wheel draft. So we're going to skim through them, and then we're going to simulate the season. As we saw, the 76ers got Luka Doncic. That is going to be big time because Joel Embiid wasn't in the top 10 at the moment. And it's also crazy to see Paul George as an 83 overall. He just dropped off of the face of the NBA. Like, it is actually insane to see that. Like, I like Paul George, but I don't think he should be that low. Just a bad season. However, we saw LeBron James now in the Chicago Bulls. He's wearing number 41. He couldn't wear 23 there because of Michael Jordan, obviously, but then we continue on. The Charlotte Hornets, Stephen Curry joins his brother and his hometown team, paired up with LaMelo Ball, which could be a really fun and interesting backcourt. As the Utah Jazz got Giannis Antetokounmpo, he has an okay team around him, but I mean, you give Giannis anybody, I think he's going to carry them. And guys, the New York Knicks are so lucky. Brunson and Towns are literally like number 12 and 13 in the top like best players, so they were barely out of the threshold between the top 10. And for the Lakers, Austin Reeves is an 87 overall. That is crazy. He is by himself trying to lead that Lakers team after Luka and LeBron got traded. Kevin Durant rejoins the Nets. That's going to be fun to watch. Let's see how he does back in Brooklyn. Can he lead that team to the postseason? I'm just really curious to see if these players who got traded to these bad teams can take them to the playoffs. I mean, not having to win a championship, but taking to the playoffs is all you could ask for, as Anthony Edwards is on the Pelicans with Zion, and that is going to be fun to watch, and in Zion. However, now we see the Toronto Raptors, Anthony Davis on the team with Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. I mean, that's a pretty solid team out there in the Eastern Conference. The Rockets, they didn't lose anybody, they didn't get anybody. The Spurs are going to benefit a lot. They get Jason Tatum. They also get Wemby back because injuries are turned off. Fox is on the team as well. We see the Phoenix Suns, they lost out to Kevin Durant. The Timberwolves, no more Anthony Edwards. SGA is headed to the Portland Trail Blazers, so that will help Portland out. No more Curry and Golden State. It's going to be hard to get used to that. And of course, last but not least, the Joker headed to the Washington Wizards, one of the worst teams in the NBA. But fellas, let's simulate to the end of the season, see which teams will make the playoffs and who wins MVP. And winning his first ever MVP award, Luka Doncic heads to the Philadelphia 76ers, wins MVP, 26-8-7. And how about this? Dalton Knecht wins a Rookie of the Year, so the Lakers needed help losing LeBron and Luka, and he steps up as DeJounte Murray comes off the bench behind Zion. CJ McCollum, Anthony Edwards wins Sixth Man, as we saw Wemby win Defensive Player. Amon Thompson, Most Improved and Clutch Player, goes to Giannis of the Utah Jazz. And as we look at the league leader in points, it was Devin Booker who led the league. He was the only one above 30, as we see Brunson right behind Trae Young. SGA goes to Portland, still dominates. And then we see Luka Doncic at 8, Giannis at 9, Paulo Banchero at 10. Rebounds per game led by Jalen Duren. I mean, he's been really good in real life as well, so it's cool to see him here on this 2K simulation. Doncic and James Harden lead the league in assists with 9.6, as the Greek Freak wins steals per game leader. And now we go to the standings, what we want to see, as the Eastern Conference is led by the number 1 seed New York Knicks, Atlanta the 2 seed, and then we have the 76ers with Luka as a 3 seed, Cleveland, Toronto, DC where Jokic makes the playoffs. How about that turnaround? So does Charlotte. They're in the play-in tournament with Stephen Curry as LeBron James, and the Chicago Bulls miss out of the playoffs. That is definitely interesting. And the Celtics lose Jason Tatum and somehow don't even make the playoffs in the East, as the Bucks, oh my gosh, they were so bad. And as we go to the Western Conference, the Spurs, the best team in the NBA with Tatum, Wemby, Fox, the 1 seed, the Clippers right behind. Minnesota, even without Anthony Edwards, is up there. The Pelicans are the 4 seed. Sacramento, Utah with Giannis. The Warriors, no Stephen Curry, but they still get 41 wins from Jimmy Butler. Shea takes the Blazers to 41 wins. OKC, hard season without SGA, and the Lakers without LeBron and Luka finished last in the West with 20 wins. And now here we go, the postseason is here, but first guys, with the simulate the play-in tournament, there are the teams in the Western Conference, some great matchups, and as we move to the Eastern Conference, there are the teams in the play-in tournament as well. But man, this is going to be a fun simulation. I can't wait to see what happens. So guys, let's simulate the play-in tournaments, and bam, there we have it, the teams that got in, SGA and the Blazers, Durant and the Nets, the Warriors, and Stephen Curry the Hornets. So here's the 16-team bracket for today's simulation after we traded the best players to the 10 worst teams, and it has made a big impact. So many of these teams who are struggling are in to the playoffs, so that's going to be fun to see. And guys, make your comments down below on your predictions. It is your last chance to do so, as we'll be simulating this simulation with live games here in NBA 2K25 to determine the champion. Well fellas, the road to the NBA Finals begin here in the very first round, so without further ado, let the madness begin. Here we go. We will begin the first round in Utah, where the Jazz will knock off the Timberwolves in this Utah team, the 6th seed, but they have Giannis Antetokounmpo. So when Minnesota loses out on Ant, they have a solid regular season, but they cannot win in the playoffs as they get swept. How about that? It looks like there's a new big 3 in Utah. Clarkson, Markkanen, and Antetokounmpo, each with 27 and 29 points. How about the Jazz? Here's a game 4 in Portland, where the Spurs are trying to sweep the 8th seed Blazers. This number 1 Spurs team is the best team in the league according to record. Tatum sidestep, doesn't take the 3, kicks it to Vassell. The Blazers desperately need to stop. Shot clock winding down to 10 seconds. Tatum in the paint, backing down his defender. Spin, kicks it out. Shot clock now down to 4 seconds. San Antonio's gonna shoot it. It's Vassell, fading away. Won't go. Wemby, he's there with 4 seconds. He didn't even need to shoot it, but SGA, season on the line. No! And Alexander leads the Blazers all the way to the postseason, but they come up short here as the Spurs will get the second sweep in this first round. Wemby, I mean, what a putback right there. And now we're going to go to a game 5 in Atlanta. It is the Charlotte Hornets who come in as a 7 seed, but anytime you've got Stephen Curry on your team, the 7 seed might look like a 1 or 2 seed because they just knock off the 2 seed Atlanta Hawks. And here we are doing game number 6 in Sacramento, tied at 107. Pelicans and Kings going at it. Pelicans in the series as the rookie, the gem, and this Pelicans Pelicans team is looking good so far in the simulation. They are 40 seconds away from the second round of the playoffs. Sacramento needs to force a game 7. DeRozan through the defense gets the bunny to go. So 35 seconds, just like that, they tie it back up, and these Sacramento fans on their feet. And I think us NBA fans can agree, even in real life in the simulation, Sacramento has some of the best fans in the game, as Anthony Edwards the other way gets the basket to go. This is his first series on a new team. Remember, he was drafted on the wheel, number 10, he was last, and right now he puts the Pelicans up by 2. Sacramento now down by 2. Series C's on the line. DeRozan looking to do it again. DeRozan against Zion, steps it back out. DeRozan at the free throw line. Solid defense for the Pelicans. Shot clock winding down. DeRozan with nothing. Gives it. Murray for the win. No! He missed the three-point shot that would have won the game. And the Pelicans defense holds off, wins the game and the series. Anthony Edwards, Zion Williamson move to the next round. Now off to Toronto, the Raptors have just beaten the Cavaliers. Man, this Toronto team is scary. 2 Duke players, Ingram, RJ Barrett, and Anthony Davis, who is Kentucky Wildcat, team up, and right now they're looking dominant as they defeat Cleveland. As Josh Hart is at the line for the New York Knicks, they're up by 1, 11 seconds away from winning this series and knocking off the 8-seeded Brooklyn Nets with Durant. This free throw can make it a 2-point game. Let's see if he makes it. He does. So if they get it stopped, they move on. The Brooklyn Nets season on the line, and for an 8 seed, forcing 6 games from the 1 seed's impressive. But right now, they need a basket to keep their season alive. Cam Thomas stuck up. They don't go to Durant. It's Russell at the buzzer. Bang! D'Angelo Russell calls game, and they force 7 on the Knicks and a battle in New York. Who would have expected this? And this series will go the distance thanks to this game-winning, season-saving 3-point shots from D'Angelo Russell. Nets win Game 6 at the buzzer. And now we're going to go to LA. It is the Warriors who will defeat this Clippers team. So down goes the 2 seed as well in the West. That means both 2 seeds will lose in the first round. That's why you got to love these NBA 2K25 simulations. Anything is possible as the Warriors, without Stephen Curry, move on. And now we go to a Game 7. Sixers Wizards. Jokic, corner 3, no good. We get Jokic versus Luka, Jokic versus Embiid. I mean, what a matchup this is, as here is Doncic, the other way for the Sixers, up by 1, and his layup is no good. The Wizards get a break, and they get the stop. Here comes the Joker. Luka will defend, and look at this. Jordan Poole has the ball, but they got Jokic on Luka. The 2 European stars, one-on-one, Embiid, baseline help, and they're going to call a foul on Luka. He couldn't hold him in the post. He doesn't believe there was a foul, bud. The Joker makes both free throws, so that gives the Wizards a 1-point lead with 20 seconds remaining in this Game 7. It all comes down to this for both teams. Do you want to win, or do you want to go home? Right now, it's Doncic with the ball. Will Embiid shoot it, or will Luka shoot it? Here is Doncic around the screen. Luka, pull-up jumper. It's off the mark. Rebound. Washington has it with 5.2 remaining. So Jordan Poole goes to the free throw line, and he's trying to make this a 3-point game for Washington. Philly is not out of it technically, but for the Sixers, I mean, they had such a dominant regular season. They have Luka, they have Embiid, and right now, they need a 3-point shot to keep their season alive. Here is George, gives it up, 3-point shots. No! And the Wizards, from one of the worst teams in the league, getting Jokic, and now on the second round of the playoffs. And so we saw the Nets win Game 6 on a buzzer beater from Russell, but they will fall in Game 7 on the road, 127-111. The Knicks will get it done, led by Brunson's 41, and Kevin Durant only shooting 6 shots is abysmal. Come on, 2K, I mean, well, that's over for the Nets. Well, we are now on to the second round of this season and playoff simulation as we traded the top 10 best players to the top worst teams in the NBA. And so far, it's been so much fun. We're getting a lot of teams that we normally never see in the playoffs in this playoff situation. So here's the bracket right now, updated. So let's simulate the conference semifinals right now on NBA 2K. second round starts off in Golden State, where the Warriors, the 7th seed, will go down to this Utah Jazz team led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, and this Jazz team is looking scary. They are just destroying the Western Conference as they head on to their way to the next round. I mean, that's back-to-back sweeps. They're 8-0. Can anybody beat them? We're going to have to find out as we now go to a game in Charlotte. Jordan pulled the line, gets the free throw. It's a 4-point lead, and the Hornets with Curry and the Melo Ball down by 4. Need something quick. They're down in the series. Curry with 1 second. Time's going to run out, and DC is going to the Eastern Conference Finals with a 6-game series win over the Charlotte Hornets. Jokic is taking his team to new heights as down goes Charlotte, and now on to New Orleans. It is the Pelicans in a blowout win over the number 1 seed Spurs. Can you believe it? I feel like a lot of you guys had the Spurs team winning this simulation. They were stacked. Tatum, Wemby, Fox, Paul. Well, they go out to Anthony Edwards and the Pelicans as now we go to a game 30 seconds, game 7, Toronto, New York. Knicks down by 1. Raptors with the ball looking to extend their lead, and the Knicks desperately need to stop. And if you're Toronto, you want to waste this clock. You got to go to Anthony Davis or Brandon Ingram in this situation. Here is Brandon Ingram. The drive kicks it to Anthony Davis in the corner. He has the mismatch. Double team comes from Towns. Davis stuck in the paint. Gives it quickly. Puts it in. Quickly from downtown, and the Raptors on the verge of going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Here is Brunson, Towns, Bridges, need it, won't get it, caught on the rebound, and Toronto is headed to the Eastern Conference Finals, winning Game 7 over the 1-seeded Knicks. So both number 1 seeds go down in the second round. How about this? 141 to 137, your final score. And so there were 4, and each one of these teams was one of the teams that got a superstar player. So how about that? This simulation really did make an impact, as in the West we got the Pelicans with Anthony Davis against Antetokounmpo and the Jazz, and then in the East, AD and the Raptors against Jokic and the Wizards. Let's find out which 2 teams will head to the finals in this 2K25 simulation. I'm excited, so let's find out right now. It is a game number 6 in Utah. Scoring is a high one in this one. 141-139. Jazz down by 2. Antetokounmpo with a pump fake. It puts it in. The Pelicans lead the series. So can this Jazz team win this game 6 and 4-7? They push it up to the rookie, and he misses it. Kessler with some great defense, and all of a sudden, Utah has the momentum. They won a game 7. Here is Clarkson with 25 seconds. You gotta go to Giannis. Giannis in the paint. Draws 2. Kicks it to Clarkson, back to Antetokounmpo. Giannis to drive. Giannis one-on-one. You can't leave him like that. No! Herb Jones with the ultimate stop, and the Pelicans have it. No timeouts. Shot clock off. A chance to win the series and go to the finals. Ball in the hands of the newest Pelican Edwards. Anthony Edwards rises and knocks it down with .7. Clutch as they come. Giannis. No! The Pelicans are going to finals! Who would have expected this? Oh my goodness, what a finish here in Salt Lake City, and heartbreak for the Jazz. They look to be favorites in the West, and they just fall here as the game ends. We head to the Capitol. The Toronto Raptors walk into this arena and will to beat this Wizards team to win the series in 6 games and go to the Eastern Conference Finals. So Jokic, what a season, taking Washington for one of the worst teams in the game to the Conference Finals as they fall, and Toronto moves on. And then there were 2, the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Toronto Raptors in this NBA Finals matchup for today's simulation. The Pelicans, led by Anthony Edwards, have played amazing, and they will go against this Toronto Raptors team that caught some lightning here in the playoffs, led by Anthony Davis, Brandon Ingram, and RJ Barrett. So let's simulate this best of 7 series to see who would take home the gold in today's simulation. Let's go. Here we are, under a minute remaining in this game 6 in Toronto. The Raptors are up by 1. Here comes Edwards, down the lane, and through the hoop, the posterizer for Ant, and what a playoff simulation he's having. Remember, he was the number 10 pick, the last pick on that draft wheel, and he's led his team all the way here. As Ingram connects, and the Raptors right back to regain the lead. Toronto looking to close at the finals here in front of their fans. Pelicans looking to go back to New Orleans for Game 7. They gotta work and defend Edwards. He's been off, and he's been going crazy. crazy as the ball is volleyball spiked out of bounds by Joachim Podol. Oh my goodness, look at that one more time. Edwards goes up and just spiked it. Are we playing basketball or volleyball? And the Pelicans will have to regain from the half-court line as the shot clock won't reset and he's down to 10 seconds. On the drive, it is McCollum for three. Ronaldson! CJ McCollum with the biggest shot of his career. And the Pelicans up by 2. Oh my goodness, these fans are nervous. And I know you Raptors fans at home are also nervous. You don't want a game 7. Ingram against his former teammate gets it to go. Oh man, look at that matchup, I forgot. Ingram and Zion, former teammates. And now with 10 seconds, Anthony Edwards just won the West on a game winner. Can he win game 6 to force game 7 in the finals? Edwards, bang! Anthony Edwards does it again with .2. Toronto won't get it off, and there will be a game 7, the 2 best words in sports, and it's Anthony Edwards who does it again. However, as we go to game 7, the Toronto Raptors were not looking good after that game. Will end up clutching up and winning game 7 to become NBA champions and winners of today's simulation. You got a feel for the Pelicans. I thought they were going to win this game 7 after that shot from Edwards, but it is the Raptors who are the kings of the NBA. Anthony Davis was traded on the wheel at the beginning of the video, and he has taken this team along with Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, Podol, all the way to a championship. Honestly, I didn't expect Toronto to win. I knew they had a solid team, but to become champions and beat all the rest of the competition was tough. But guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I read every single comment down below. You are all the GOATs. I appreciate the support. It is Halftime Productions. I hope you enjoyed today's sim, and we out for today.